how fast can Minecraft be beaten? Well, on speedrun.com, in the any percent glitchless category, there are 3 main version leaderboards with the goal of making it to the credits as fast as possible, being pre 1.9, 1.9 to 1.15, and 1.16 plus. Out of these, there really isn't much question as to which is the quickest, with random and set C glitchless world records being significantly faster in 1.16 plus. Specifically, the set C glitchless record features Rayo loading into the world and killing the dragon with a staggeringly fast time of 1 minute and 53 seconds. With glitches, the record drops down to 152, and that right there is as low as the time goes on vanilla Minecraft. While using the Pogloot mod to ensure perfect RNG and insane chest loot and the Icarus data pack to spawn with an Elytra and 64 firework rockets, MarkyBoy257 was able to view the credits in a mere 1 minute and 3 seconds. So that's it, right? Surely nothing can be faster than a speedrun on the most optimal known seed with perfect RNG and an Elytra, right? Well, yes, if you're merely viewing Minecraft on a 3rd dimensional plane. You see, the 4th dimension is time, so logically, couldn't speedruns that manipulate time be faster? Well, allow me to introduce you to the any percent set seed time travel category. This string of words that is currently meaningless to you is a leaderboard category that is unlike any other due to the fact that, like the name suggests, time travel is allowed. This is SirPalmTree, a certified big brain Minecraft speedrunner, and he was about to take on one hell of a challenge. While playing on version 1.14.4, he was gonna beat Minecraft faster than any human or palm tree had beaten Minecraft before. Do you see this at the top left of the screen? The top timer, also known as the real-time attack or RTA, is counting time right from the point it was started. The bottom timer, however, is only counting the in-game time or IGT, pausing whenever the player pauses the game or when dimensions are loading. Since the leaderboard use IGT to time runs, that is the timer that really matters. He started out the run like any ordinary Minecraft speedrun by grabbing wood and proceeded by locating a very specific room of this mansion, the portal room. After grabbing the ender pearls from a trap chest, After grabbing the ender pearls from a trap chest, this TNT got set off, but absolutely zero fucks were given by SirPalmTree. Rather, he just used it as an opportunity to grab more resources. One short travel time lapse later, and he finally reached the second structure. Hey, do you see this village? Well, I hope you do cause it's on screen, but anyways, it has 2 blacksmith houses, and he needed to get at least 10 obsidian from the chests. Since blacksmith loot is random and completely independent from the seed in version 1.14, failing this objective would mean having to reset the run. Fortunately for SirPalmTree, this was his lucky day, because not only was 11 obsidian obtained, 3 diamonds were acquired as well. With a piece of TNT from the mansion, he blew up some gravel for flint, and with the iron golem successfully sacrificed, he had to go on a bit of a jog. More specifically, he needed to evacuate spawn.
But PKJ, he is already away from spawn.
Shut up, I'm not done yet. As I was saying, he needed to get the hell out of spawn ASAP in order for time travel to work. Basically, time travel is a method of abusing the in-game timer so it never updates, even though progress is being made in the speedrun. If you remember from earlier, the in-game timer is what the leaderboard uses to time speedruns. Every 5 minutes, Minecraft's autosave feature will kick in and automatically make a save state, which is just a fancy word for saving progress. Whenever a save state happens, the in-game timer updates, so that needs to be avoided at all costs. The simple solution would be to close out the world before a save state takes place, but as it turns out, pressing save and quit to title will create a save state. The only correct answer to this problem is crashing the game with Task Manager. But how would SirPalmTree be able to save any progress at all? Well, when chunks are unloaded, Minecraft saves progress without activating a save state. There's this little known feature in the game called render distance, and by making progress on the speedrun in one area, SirPalmTree could go to an area where the progress was outside of his render distance in order to unload the chunks, then crash the game. That takes me back to him running away from spawn. You see, spawn chunks are an area of about 16 chunks in each direction around the world spawn, and they're never unloaded, rendering time travel within this area impossible. That's why SirPalmTree was making a mad dash away from spawn chunks. Soon enough, he got to an area which he found to be adequate, built a nether portal, dropped his items there, and with 2 render distance threw a pearl that didn't teleport him? Well, you see, the reason it never landed is because it was just out of render distance, and if you were to render it, it would teleport him. This is known as a pearl hang, and it plays an absolutely pivotal role in making making this speedrun possible. Anyways, after the pearl was hung, SirPalmTree went far enough away from the portal in order to ensure his progress would be saved, set himself on fire, and died. According to him, simply going out of render distance and crashing the game is quite inconsistent, so adding that extra step before the crash all but guaranteed his stuff would be saved. After waiting about 20 seconds, he pressed end process, and now was the moment of truth. Once he was back in the game, he turned his render distance to 32, loaded into the world, immediately paused the game, and nothing yet. You see, what he just did causes an itty bitty tiny little bit of lag to happen. In other words, he waited 2 minutes before unpausing the game so chunks could load, and good news, the pearl hang was successful. Oh, you thought that he would merely have to wait for 2 minutes? That's funny. This is version 1.14.4 after all, and is quite notorious for having performance issues. So after another 45 seconds of waiting, his items appeared in his inventory and he paused and saved the game right when they did. This made the timer jump up a little bit, but trust me when I say, the benefits of having an infinite pearl hang far outweigh the drawbacks. Now, each time he needed to do time travel, instead of spawning all the way back at the world spawn, he would appear right where that pearl landed until he set a new save state. With all that out of the way, SirPalmTree was finally ready to make some real progress in this speedrun. His first course of action was grabbing a shit ton of wood, 67 logs to be exact. Upon Nether entry, he killed a ghast, collected its tier, then threw everything in a chest in the Nether. There are two reasons for this. The first one is because entering a different dimension, in this case the overworld, is a way to unload chunks and save progress. And the second reason is because upon time traveling, he will still have the items that he dropped at the last save state. This essentially provides an infinite source of those items, the more important ones he had being ender pearls, iron, and obsidian. So after going back into the overworld and turning his render distance to 2, SirPalmTree crashed his game again. Upon reopening the world, he went to a village, collected 20 hay bales, upgraded his pickaxe, and went back into the Nether to put the items in the chest. I wonder if you can guess what he did afterwards. Anyways, now it was time to get some blaze rods and okay, we don't have to talk about that. Thankfully, not a lot of progress was lost, and after grabbing some sand and smelting it in the Nether, he committed time travel, and for real this time, he started killing blazes. 4 blazes later, he had 0 rods, yada yada, you know the drill. Upon going back to the spawner, there were way more blazes this time, so fearing for his life, SirPalmTree boxed himself in so nothing could damage him, and what the fuck? Apparently, I'm not the only one who was a bit confused about this magical wither skeleton. Once he left his house, he killed 2 blazes, getting 0 rods, and died. Commenced Groundhog Day, and unfortunately, as it turns out, wither skeletons can damage you when you aren't completely concealed in a box. Exit code 0, an unexpected issue has occurred and the game has crashed. We go again. This time, however, SirPalmTree had collected enough iron to craft some armor, so this time, he wouldn't be perishing so easily. I'd like to remind you of his current blaze rod drop rates of 0 for 6. Let's see how long he can keep up that streak. Oh, look at that, on his 9th blaze he got his first rod, and his 10th blaze gave him his second, a miracle. Alright, I have a question. Do you want to end javaw.exe? You will lose any unsaved data, and if you end a system process, it might result in system instability. Are you sure you want to continue? 6 for 19 were his blaze rod drop rates, which is absolutely horrendous considering the fact that they have a 50% chance of dropping. But fortunately for SirPalmTree, this is a speedrun where his rates don't matter. Anyways, due to all the time travel duping, he now had 10 obsidian, so after crafting flint and steel, he went to the Nether equivalent location of the stronghold, built a new portal, waited 20 seconds for the overworld to load, and got the I Spy advancement. Unfortunately, the silverfish were being kind of a pain in the ass, but once the spawner was broken, he went back into the Nether to unload the chunks and died a fiery death. He was of course gonna go back to the stronghold, but this time he brought with him 10 Eyes of Ender and an End Crystal. What possible purpose could that serve? You'll soon see, but first he needed to get an Ender Pearl from a stronghold chest in order to have enough eyes to fill the portal. One by one, he placed Eyes of Ender in their slots, and once it was lit, he readied his End Crystal, jumped through the fountain, and immediately placed it, killing the dragon. Well, a more accurate description for this glitch would be placing a crystal before the dragon spawned, basically skipping the end fight, but anyways, after that, he unloaded the chunks and crashed the game. Once back at the chest, he grabbed building blocks, went back to the end, and started pillaring out from the end island, predicting his death in the process. Anyways, back to pillaring he went, and this time he was able to make it to X250 without falling. That is, until he needed to time travel. When he was back at the portal room, instead of hopping in, he started digging a hole to the side of it, and that's because he was gonna set up another pearl hang save state. Basically, he needed to dig 2 chunks to the side of the portal in order to do it, and on his 3rd trip there, he had dug out enough so he entered the end and jumped off the ledge. Now that that was taken care of, he went back to X250 in the end, finished building a platform, built a little wall around the end fountain, dropped 5 pearls in the end, and did time travel. What's the purpose for all these platforms and walls though? Well, similar to the overworld, the area around the fountain 0,0 has something like spawn chunks where just throwing a pearl hang into the end fountain won't work. To get around this, he threw a pearl hang at the X250 platform, went back to the main island, and climbed this little staircase which was placed in a very specific location. He then turned his render distance up to exactly 1 chunk less than what would make his pearl land. The next part required precision, so he brought up his notes that told him the exact angle to aim his crosshair and threw a pearl at the end fountain, immediately turning up his render distance with F3 and F in order to get back out to the platform before it landed. In doing this, he was able to successfully hang a pearl over the end fountain. Next, he went back to the portal room to hang a pearl over the end portal, but while trying to die from pearl damage, he accidentally fell to his death before it landed, which hung a second pearl in the area. This wasn't going to work out, so he had to go back through the portal to the stronghold, and if it weren't for him glitching into this block, the pace would have died right there. Fool him once, shame on you. Fool him twice, well, you ain't fooling SirPalmTree twice. Because after throwing another end portal pearl hang, not hanging a second pearl, and crashing the game, he was ready for the grand finale. First, he turned up his render distance to 32, then he entered the world and immediately paused, which updated the in-game timer for the first time in over an hour. If you remember from earlier in the video, lag is no stranger to the any percent time travel category, so after waiting for nearly 3 minutes, his stronghold pearl unhung, teleporting him right into the end. Upon entry, he immediately paused to let lag sort itself out, and upon unpausing, he was teleported right above the end fountain, and after going through it, finished the run with a final in-game time of 4.9 seconds. This almost doesn't feel like a real speedrun, but it is, and it's the current world record in the any percent time travel set seed category by over 1 minute and 50 seconds. On top of that, it's the fastest that Minecraft has ever been beaten when using in-game time. Don't let the low number of submissions fool you, because this category has one of the highest barriers for entry of any Minecraft speedrun out there. This single run right here is the result of years of hard work from some of the top strategy developers in the game, and the fact that we get to see SirPalmTree combine all of that into one speedrun is truly a privilege. Before this video ends, there's one more question that I want to answer. What would the run look like if you only saw the sections that are being timed? Well, here you go. Yeah, that's the entire run. Anyways, this is one of the most difficult videos I've ever made due to the amount of stuff I had to learn, so if you enjoyed it, be sure to subscribe. I'd like to thank SirPalmTree for helping me understand this run, and I'd like to give a big shout out to the entire glitched speedrun community for making some of the most interesting speedruns I've ever seen.